What's your overall plan for this budget? What problems are you trying to solve?
Well, this will be a responsible budget which prioritises Australians doing it tough. It will have three main elements: a responsible package of cost of living relief targeted to the most vulnerable, but also some investments in economic growth to lay the foundations for the future. But all of that wrapped in responsible economic management, which tries to get the budget on a much more sustainable footing.
Now, whether or not there'll be a surplus on Tuesday night, the one thing that most economists do agree on is that there will be deficits in the years ahead, possibly expanding. What's your sort of plan to solve that? Are there additional revenue measures on the table?
Well, a couple of things about that. I mean, yes, there will be substantial near-term improvement in the budget position. There's a misconception that says that's all commodity prices. About a fifth of that is commodity prices. About 40% of that is actually improvements in the labour market, including people not just working more, but earning more as well. The beginnings of decent wages growth is flowing through to the budget. So substantial improvement in the near term. You're right that the structural pressures on the budget actually intensify rather than ease after that. And that is a focus of the budget too. We've got a structural challenge in the budget, and that's why we're making some important changes into the medium term as well.
You've mentioned, obviously, this isn't all due to commodity prices, but is that something that you would like to change over your time as Treasurer, moving away from this sort of over-reliance on a single source of revenue for Australia?
I recognise the substantial contribution that the resources sector makes to our economy and to the budget. As we talked about, around a fifth of the upgrade, about half of the upgrade that comes from improvements in the labour market, but still a substantial part of the story. We recognise and acknowledge that. We want to have an economy which is broad and diverse, which creates more opportunities for more people in more parts of Australia. And what you'll see in the budget is, in order to lay the foundations for future growth in the economy, we've got to do a great job of the net zero transformation. We've got to get technology working for people, not against them. We've got to make sure people have the skills to adapt and adopt that technology in the economy of the future. These are our priorities. And there's a welcome focus on cost of living. That will be the major focus of the budget, but there will also be big investments in skills and in other areas which will drive our future prosperity.
There's a real sense of 2014 in the air when it comes to the Australia-China relationship. Businesses are rushing back to China to take advantage of the sort of warming of relations. We've seen premiers rushing across there as well. Should Australians be more cautious before we rush back into tying our economy to China in a major way?
Well, we've put a lot of effort into stabilising the relationship. It's a tribute to the Prime Minister, Foreign Minister, Trade Minister and other ministers that we have put that effort in to try and stabilise it. Australia, more than almost anyone else, has got an interest in a stable and peaceful and prosperous and secure region because we are a middle-sized exporting economy and we've got some key relationships in the region. So that's been a big priority for us. We're not naive about the complexities of managing that relationship. In the budget, we expect the Chinese economy to pick up a bit faster than what was earlier anticipated as a consequence of the opening up. But what we need is good, diverse, broad markets. We want our employers and exporters to do well on global markets. China will be a big part of the story, and that's why we want to stabilise the relationship.
And that pickup in the Chinese economy that we're seeing, that's helping the budget bottom line as well?
Oh, it is, but it's offset by other things. You know, the global economy more broadly has been a bit softer than what people were anticipating. China may be a little bit stronger, but you know, overall, we want to make sure that we're making the most of these trading relationships. That's been a big priority for us. China is important to our economy and to our budget. Not the whole story, but an important part of it.